Alright everyone, welcome back to part 2 of this tutorial series on making Telegram bots. And on today's video, we are going to be learning about how to connect to Telegram using the Telethon library, which we installed in the last video. If you're ready for this video, make sure to like down below and subscribe to this channel so that you do not miss the future videos. Let's get started. So the first thing we're going to need is we're going to import the library. Now, normally we're just going to import Telethon, but in today's video, we're going to need a special package called the Telegram client. And that is a part of Telethon. So we're not going to import the entire Telethon. We're just going to use that package called the Telegram client. So we're going to use from Telethon, import, and then we're going to import the Telegram client. Now, firstly, you're going to need to connect to your Telegram account. And to do that, you're going to need an API ID and API hash. Let's show you how to get that. Alright guys, so now that we're here, you're going to need to go to my.telegram.org and hit enter, and it's going to load up your account information. Firstly, you're going to need to enter your phone number, which I'm going to enter right now. Make sure to enter it in international format. Next, Telegram is going to send you a confirmation code. The message is going to look something like this, and that is the confirmation code you're going to need to enter on the website. Once you're back on the website, paste your confirmation code. Hit remember me if you want to save this for future use, but if not, just ignore that and click sign in. And as you can see, we are now into my Telegram core. What we're going to need to do is click on the API development tools. If you're here, you're going to see the API ID and API hash. Do not share it to anyone because this gives programs access to your account. So make sure you keep these as secure as possible. I'll be blurring out mine because I do not want to share it to the whole internet, but you need to be careful how you use your API ID and API hash. Now here's what we need the API ID and API hash to do. We're going to need to use them to connect to Telegram. But first, we're going to make the API ID and API hash variables. Now I'm not going to be doing that here because that will be exposing my API ID and API hash. So instead, I'm going to make a local library called info. I'm just going to make a new file called info.py. And then inside info.py, I'm going to put in my API ID and API hash. And as you can see, all I'm going to need to do is copy and paste from the website and save it in here. My microphone actually stopped at this moment, so this is actually going to be a voiceover after the recording. But as I said, you have to copy the API ID and the API hash from the website. And then you paste it into your Visual Studio Code or whatever editor you're using. Now, the thing is, use it as a string, but the API ID is a number, and the API hash, you're going to have to use it as a string. So if possible, change it to a string, and then you can save the info file so that you can be able to use it for later. And once you're done, you can close the info file. And now we're back in the test file. As you can see, the info library or file now exists. So then we can connect to Telethon using this information. Now the way we're going to connect to Telethon is using the client. We're going to define the client, which is the variable. So client is equal to the Telegram client function, and that function is what we are going to use to define our client. So we're going to start a new Telegram client, and there are 3 parameters we need to pass in. First is the session name, and this can be anything you want. And this stores the login details and everything so that you don't have to log in every time you run the program. Second is the API ID, which is going to be info.api_id because I'm storing mine in an external file for security reasons. And finally is the API hash, which is also going to be info.api hash because I'm also storing mine in the external file, so we're going to be using the values in the info file. Now once you've gotten these things ready, you're going to need to run the program. Now at this point in the recording, my ideally got this error, which made me stop my recording to check the error out, and it had to do with my execution policy in PowerShell. So if you get this error, you're just going to have to run a command, which is going to be displayed in the next clip. But it was at this point that I paused the recording and I realized that my microphone wasn't there, so I decided to start a new recording and my volume came back. So this is me, the editor, signing out. Alright, sorry for the little error there, but I just had to change something in my PowerShell, which stopped the program from running. But when we run this file again, as you can see, it runs successfully with no errors. This means that the file is working. Now we're going to need to check if it actually connects to Telegram. And to do this, we are going to send ourselves a message on Telegram. Using the feature of saved messages, we can check if this bot is running. So we're going to define a function for that. Now this function is going to be an asynchronous function, which means that it's just going to keep on running as long as the program is on. And then at the end, we're going to run the loop until it's complete. But if you're making more complex programs like we're going to be making at the end of this tutorial, you're going to need so much more than this. But we're going to define this function using the async keyword. And then we're going to define the function and call it main. Then we're going to need to send a message to myself. And to do that, I'm going to use the await. This is the main keyword that you're going to be using in Telethon. Most of the things you have to do related to the Telegram client require this await keyword. So you're just going to need to get used to using this await keyword. And then we're going to use a client method called send message. Then now you need to put who you're sending the message to, which is me. I'm sending it to myself. And to do that in Telethon, all you need to do is type me, and that is going to send it to yourself. And then we're going to need to include the message. So what I'm going to send is subscribe to my channel, because you totally should subscribe to this channel so that you don't miss future videos. Once we've set that, we're going to need to actually run the function. So with client, we're going to run the loop, which is the main function which we defined earlier, using the client. Now, if you want to run a loop infinitely, you're going to use a different keyword. But now we want to run it until it's complete, not run forever. So we're going to use this run until complete. And then we're going to put the function in parentheses. And as you can see, the program is complete. So now we're just going to insert the necessary comments and give this program a spin. Alright guys, I've put the comments telling us what everything does. Now once we've done that, we can run this program and see what happens. First, we save, and then let's see what happens when we run. Alright, I missed an error. Right, there's an error here, and you should not use parentheses here. You're just going to use the client, because we defined the variable here, and we shouldn't use parentheses because it's not a function. I forgot about that. Make sure you don't make the same mistake, and once you've rectified everything, you can run the program. And if you notice, it's creating session files in our directory. So these session files are storing your credentials as you connect to Telegram. Now, to connect to it, this is one time. As long as you're working with a session file, you're just going to need to connect to this once. Once you're connected, that's okay. You're going to need to enter your phone or bot token, your phone number or your bot token. Now I'm going to use my phone number because I am not using a bot. And make sure you enter your phone number internationally instead of locally, because that could also cause some errors. Once you've done that, you're also going to need to enter the code you received to your Telegram. So you're going to need to open your Telegram and check that code. As you can see, I've received my code and I've copied it. So now I'm going to paste it in there. Once you've entered the code, if your account has two-factor authentication, you're going to need to enter your password. This is very important. Your password might be echoed or printed in the bot's process. Now this is very important. You're just going to need to enter your password, and it's not going to show because we're using the terminal. But if you're using IDLE, it might be shown. So make sure you cover that just in case. Once you enter your password here in the terminal, I've entered it, but you can't see it. I'm just going to click on enter, and we've signed in successfully as my name there. I'm not using my actual name in Telegram because, yeah. So once we've run that, we're going to need to check if the message was successfully delivered. So we're going to go into Telegram, and as you can see, our saved messages are here. So you're just going to have to click on that save messages, and as you can see, guys, we have subscribed to my channel right here. So it actually sent the message. Now you can run this bot again and change the message. So you can change it to turn on all notifications. And if you run that, it's going to send the message, but this time it's not going to ask you for your phone number, your verification code, or your password, because you've already entered that and it's been saved and encrypted into the session file. That's very important. So if you're deleting the session file, or if you're clearing all devices from your Telegram settings, you're also going to need to sign in again with your verification code, your phone number or bot token, and your password so that you can make it work. But as you can see, the bot just finished running, and when we come here to check, it's also sent the message, turn on all notifications. So that's a quick way to connect to Telegram. We've seen how to use the Telegram client, and we've also seen how to send messages to ourselves. In the next video, we're going to be talking about responses, replying to messages, and we are going to make a bot that automatically replies to someone if you are not online. Anyways, guys, that's going to be it for this video. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you learned something. Make sure to smash like and hit the subscribe button so that you do not miss my future videos. And if you got all that, stay happy coding, and I'll see you in the next video.